The E-Champions League final, a clash between the two best players in Europe, $280,000 on the line, and one shocking moment. Anders Vejrgang walks up to his opponent and says, "You deserve it." Wait, what? Anders, the Danish wonderkid known for his polarizing attitude, admitting defeat? Who was the player that made this happen and how? I'll show you right now by breaking down exactly how Emre Yılmaz outplayed the world champion. His ultimate tool in his build-up was the player locks. He consistently activated the player lock and switched to one of his potential receivers. Upon seeing this, Anders, who usually presses at the current dribbler, had to change his approach and cover the passing lane first, which took the main focus away from the initial dribbler. That gave Emre two opportunities to play with. Right after you activate the player lock by pressing the L3 and R3 buttons at the same time and switching to the desired player by flicking the right stick in this direction, the AI controlled player still continues to dribble in the same direction where you leave him, and the opponent's attention shifts towards the manually controlled player. By continuously activating the player lock and cancelling it after a couple of moments, Emre created space for his current dribbler in the course of the match. Even if he was in a tight spot, activating the player lock forced his opponent to remain at the receiver while his AI-controlled player dribbled forward with no pressure, and cancelling the player lock allowed him to get back to the initial dribbler and enjoy the free space. This helped him to quickly switch the direction of the game and find more gaps in the defense. In those cases where he didn't cancel the player lock, he played mind games with his opponents by simply faking the movement of the locked player. By consistently moving him back and forth, Emre was able to get rid of the defenders easily and create huge spaces behind the defensive line. Faking with the player lock worked really well for him because most of the opponents bite the first move. In fact, he almost scored the goal using this. He activated the player lock and switched to the striker directly afterwards. This is where the magic happened because Emre briefly made a feint towards the lower side as if he was trying to get the ball in that direction, and he knew Anders would react to it. This is why he instantly switched the direction of his run and went forward while Anders got out of the picture. Only keeper to beat, but unlucky finishing. If you want to learn how to use player locks in build-up situations like Emre, we have a dedicated tutorial that explains this in detail on the Guide Plus. Make sure to check it out after this video by clicking the link in the description. We also have some free tutorials in the app so you can get a taste of our content there. Executing player locks worked insane, but what made him far more dangerous was the first time through balls. Since Anders was playing a high defensive line, Emre tried to make his striker run in behind the defensive line and get the ball to him with a through ball. What he did there was to identify the striker who can run and the player who can pass the ball to him. Then the execution part. He passed the ball to his teammate, and as the ball was traveling, he briefly pointed out his striker with his left analog stick and tapped the L1 LB button. This triggered a perfect run behind the defensive line. Before the ball got to his player, he also powered up the through ball, which timed perfectly well because his striker didn't get into offside, and only if Anders didn't bring out the keeper, that could have been a goal. But some things become unavoidable when you play that well. The deciding goal was a product of the first time through ball. Pass the ball towards a teammate, trigger a run while the ball is on the move, and pass it first time only to get one-on-one with the keeper. Well prepared. And like every special player, Emre had a special build-up pattern for himself, which he also tried multiple times against Anders. By going deep down in the wing, he made the whole defense shift into the box, and this created a huge space for his midfielders who were joining the attack from the back. Saw the midfielder on the same side and went for the pass. The next step was to see if any player in the box was open, or else he passed the ball quickly towards the midfielder on the other side. Since the ball was no longer deep towards the goal, this was the moment where the defenders were pushing out forward and became quite unbalanced, where Emre consistently used a driven pass to get the ball inside and created huge chances. Passing the ball back while the defense was so deep in the back created multiple passing opportunities for Emre, and picking the stronger one allowed him to get into dangerous positions like this. Using this build-up pattern, Emre was able to get the ball towards his striker easily. Recognizing the pattern, seeing the open man, and executing quick passing was the key for him in the biggest final in Europe. His finishing wasn't as clinical as previous rounds, probably because of the stress level of the final match. We show you how to score almost every chance inside the box using crucial mechanics in our latest video, which appears on your screen right now. Click it, watch it, and become a better finisher. Hope to see you on our next video. Until then, peace.